Welcome to the fourth video in this 6-part series, teaching you how to create and memorize reports on QuickBooks effectively and efficiently. Now let's open up the first report that we named and memorized. Click Customize Report, and in the Display section, change the default date to last year. To do this, select the Choices arrow besides the Date section and select Last Fiscal Year. Now move on to the Filter section. There's nothing we need to change here for this report, so we'll leave it. In the header and footer section, we already have the report title from naming and memorizing the report. All we need to do is change the subtitle to the end date. Onto the fonts and numbers sections. You can change a few things here, but we suggest changing the column and row labels so they're bold. Also, change the negative numbers to show in parentheses. Click OK to look at your report. The report looks good. Memorize it and replace the old report that you had. Now let's change the report a little and resave it into another location. Give this report a default date of last month, and for the title, erase the P at the beginning and instead type in AP. Then erase the AP in the third section of the name. Click OK. Memorize this report, but this time, instead of replacing it, create a new report and save it under the AP report group. Open up the second report you memorized earlier. Click Customize Report, and in the Display section, set the date to the last fiscal year. Head over to the Filter section, and under the Account drop-down box, click Multiple Accounts. A quick way to maneuver through these accounts is to check one of the accounts, uncheck them. Now you can key in the first three numbers of the accounts and you'll be taken there automatically. Check off the accounts that you want. Once you have them all checked, click OK. Now head over to the Fonts and Numbers section. Click Row Labels, Change Font, and change the font to bold. Click OK. When it asks you to change all related fonts, click No. Click OK to view your report. The report's looking good, but there's one last thing we want to do. Hit the Total By drop-down box and select Account List. Now make sure you memorize this report and replace your previous one. Now we need to change and resave this report. Click Customize Reports, and in the Display section, set the date to last month. Head over to the header/footer section and change the title to CTDR 26,500 Debt and Accrued Interest and Interest Expense. Click OK. Make sure you remember to remove debit, credit, and balance since they aren't needed for an expense report. Memorize this report. This time, instead of replacing it, create a new report and save it under the CTDR report group. Open up the third report that you memorized earlier, then click Customize Report. In the Display section, set the date to the last fiscal year. In the Total By option, select Year, and then for the columns, uncheck Left Margin, Balance, Credit, and Debit, and then put a check mark beside Amount. Head over to the Filter section, select the Long Distance account, and click OK. Now we need to adjust the columns. Let's make type a little bit smaller. Adjustments we don't need, so we'll delete that. A few adjustments later, it looks good, but there's still too much data. Let's look at it from a different angle. Click Reports, Company and Financial, Profit and Loss Standard. Click Customize Report. For the drop-down, click Last Fiscal Year. For the sub-columns, check off Previous Year, Dollar Change, and Percentage Change. In the Filter section, for the Account drop-down, select Multiple Accounts, and check off all the same accounts that you did last time. Once you have all your accounts checked, click OK. Head over to the header/footer section and key in your title. P 52952 LS PACC Communication Landline Long Distance 52.952 and click OK. The only account we have to look at based on our normal scope is the 52958, which changed more than $1,000 and more than 10%. This is an exercise to learn how to create memorized reports, not an effective review of financial statements, so we will not continue with this. Change the 952 account to 958. And the reason for this change is because we were going to save the reports we prepared in a second group. Save the 58 and the 52 into the GL group with the correct names, and then save the 58 LS report into the LS group with the correct name. We will cover 2 more reports in the next video. Please continue on to the next video in this tutorial series for creating and memorizing reports.